guys, welcome to today's Big Brother 17 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Pritch P, and he wants to know, okay, this is a fill in the blank. The number of house guests in an alliance needs to stay less than blank. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm thinking the ideal number, I would say, is probably like 4. I would say no greater than 5. I think if you're going higher than 5, you're asking for a disaster and it's not going to be a real alliance. But I would say 4 is like the ideal number, and then you have your final 2 within that 4. I think that's great. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, yesterday, Johnny Mac continued his campaigning to Vanessa. He was like, keep me, work with me, it'll be great. I'll go after the Oz twins for you. You don't have to worry about it. I'll get all the blood on my hands. So then John was saying, like, even if I get evicted this week, like, it's no hard feelings. You have my jury vote, and if I'm the person to come back from the jury, I will not be targeting you. So Vanessa's like, oh, that's great, very cool. She wants to talk about it more, but she's gonna need to like do some investigating and stuff. She needs some time to think about it. So then Vanessa was chatting with Steve, and they're kind of in a weird place right now. They did make up, sort of, but Vanessa wants to continue to act like she's angry with Steve because they can't let people think they're close. Look what happened with Johnny Mac and Steve this week. They're up on the block together because people are like, y'all are too close. So they don't want that, or at least Vanessa doesn't. So she's just like, Steve, meet me in the dumpster. I can't be seen with you. So she lets Steve know that Johnny Mac has been campaigning to her, but she doesn't tell him what John said. She doesn't want to reveal that information. So she asks Steve, like, do you think John is trying to bait me with his campaigning? And Steve is like, well, I can't answer that because I don't know what John's been saying. And Vanessa's just like, alright, well, bye. So, let's talk about Liston. It looks like it's trouble in paradise. Liz was complaining yesterday to Julia about Austin. She was just like, I'm not sleeping upstairs anymore, Julia. I'm done. So, she was saying that he's careless because, like, he put this pot aside, like he washed it, but like there was still grease on it, and it was like gross, and she was just like, he doesn't know how to clean. I've never met anyone so careless. Oh my god. So then Austin comes in. Wait, I just have to ask, like, do they cook anything besides omelets? I swear, I feel like they're always eating omelets. But anyway, Austin comes in. He plops down on the bed next to Liz, and she's just like, oh my god, go away. So then they bicker about the cleaning thing, and she was especially upset because he was telling her, like, not to worry about cleaning up after other people. He was like, go, like, do something else or whatever, and she was, like, really annoyed by that. So then Liz was like, it's like you don't even care about me. And Austin was like, you're all I care about. I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to make a future for us. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then he's telling her he's gonna be more sensitive, and she needs to go sleep upstairs in the princess room. So she really liked that. They start kissing. I guess they made up. So they leave to go up to the HOH room. Guess what? Johnny Mac was in there the whole time trying to take a freaking nap, and they were all blah, blah. So after they leave, he sits up in his bed. He pretends to gag and puke. It was amazing. I love Johnny Mac. I think that's definitely going to be on the show. Alright, so then Vanessa goes up to the HOH room to talk to Austin and Liz, specifically about Johnny Mac. She tells them, yeah, John's been campaigning to me, and this was his strategy. He wants to split you guys up. That's what he's telling me. So Austin and Liz are like, oh, he's got to go. Got to get rid of him. So then they keep making this comparison between Johnny Mac and Robert De Niro's character from Taxi Driver. They're thinking like he's this wild card and he's gonna go crazy one day. Austin's like, he's gonna show up one day with a mohawk. Really? So they also reason that he has got connections with pretty much everybody in the jury so far, and they're worried that if he stays around, like, he's gonna work with whoever comes back from the jury and come after them, so they can't have that. But Vanessa has a plan. She wants to tell Johnny Mac that he has her vote, but he's got to keep it on the DL. And then they want him to go and try and get the Goblins' votes. And then they want to test them and see if James and Meg then go to the Oz twins and tell them about Johnny Mac's campaigning. So they're like, oh, I don't know if it's a good idea, blah, blah, blah. And Liz is like, no, let's do it. But Austin does not think that the goblins are going to flip on them. So I don't know if they're actually going to go through with this plan or what, but it should be pretty interesting. So Vanessa talks to Johnny Mac again, and she's like, you know, I want to keep you, but it would be easier for me if you could convince Austin and the twins that you should stay, because then I don't have to be all like sneaky about it. So Johnny Mac is like, why are you worried about upsetting them? Like, they were all in on that 5-person deal last week to get rid of you, so like, why do you care? Also, he's like, it would be way easier for me to get James and Meg's votes because the Oz twins freaking love Steve, or at least love him more than they love John. So Vanessa's like, yeah, well, this is what I want, so do it. So then Vanessa gives him a little bit of advice, and she's like, when you go and talk to the twins, make sure you address your like closeness with the jury because they're really worried about that. So John's like, all right, good to know. So the house guests came up with a new game last night. It's called Sling Band. It's pretty much the exact same thing as pot ball, except instead of throwing a ball into the pots, they're flinging one of those elastic headbands onto some plates. So it's good times, guys. Good times. When they weren't playing that, we got to watch them. We got to watch them watch an ant carry around like a red, what is that, red, I don't think it was bacon, it was like a red, what is, red pepper flake. So that was fun too. But after Sling Band, no chocolate war. Big Brother was like, hell no, no more chocolate wars. Not since Meg got hit in the freaking eye with a piece of chocolate. They're not allowed to do it anymore. So then it was time for Johnny Mac to talk some game with the twins in the cabana room. So the twins let him know, we are voting with Vanessa this week. So whatever Vanessa does, we're gonna do. So Johnny Mac is like, well, I'm ready to do whatever you guys want next week. You wanna go after James and Meg? Sure. You wanna go after the returning juror? Fine, I'll do it. I'll do whatever you want. Oh, what? You three don't wanna be pawns this week? Okay. Done. So he's telling them like whatever they need to hear, and they're like, all right, well, we'll think about it and we'll give you a decision tomorrow, which is today. So they're still going back and forth about the vote, and when I say they, I mean like everyone. It's looking like Johnny Mac is probably going to be leaving because the twins really seem to want him to go, and I think Vanessa's going to stick with the twins. So it seems like he's going to be going, but you never know. So then Meg, James, and Liz were talking by the pool about who's going to go this week, and they're like, maybe we should flip a coin to decide. Really? And then Meg is just, she's bringing up some grievances. She's like, yeah, so why did I see Steve and Vanessa studying the days and events together in the bathroom area? WTF is that all about? Like, I thought that they were fighting and they're not close anymore. Open your eyes, Meg. Like, use the clues. Use the clues. So then, later on, Steve was asking Meg and James for their votes this week. He's like, what can I do for you guys? Like, what can I do for you guys to keep me? And they're just like, we're tired. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So they tell him they're going to talk about it more today. So this morning, Meg, Vanessa, and Austin, again, we're talking about the votes. Who are we going to vote out? They said, you know, both of these people are pretty even. Vanessa says that they both suck. So then they're like, maybe we should do rock, paper, scissors. Again, are you freaking kidding me? This is a game for $500,000 and you're gonna make a decision based on rock, paper, scissors? Okay, so then another idea, see which of them will agree to throw the HOH next week and be a pawn against whoever comes back from the jury. I feel like they would both definitely agree to do that in a heartbeat. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to stick with it. And then Vanessa comes up with the idea, hey, let's just all decide individually who we want to vote for. We won't tell anyone, and then we'll let it be a surprise on Thursday. What? Is this like some way for Vanessa to vote for Johnny Mac to stay? Like, I don't understand the reasoning there, but I don't know. So it seems like it's still kind of up in the air. Again, like I said, it seems like Johnny Mac is going, but you never know. It's Eviction Eve. Hopefully we'll get some answers tonight, and tomorrow along with someone being evicted, somebody else is going to be coming back from the jury. Maybe it will be the person who's evicted tomorrow. I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you guys are hoping to see happen. And until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.